Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee,
I'm E.
and today's video is about a very, 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 very huge wedding. I'm sure you guys know. I'm talking about the Ambani wedding, which, of course, literally stretched out for what, 6 months, 5 months worth of celebrations and all that stuff. And it
The
culminated.
wedding of my dreams.
It culminated with a wedding weekend that never seemed to end either. So we, of course, found some information about it and we wanted to discuss it with you all. What did you find?
All right, so guys, disclaimer, I'm going to butcher a whole bunch of words. So just bear with me. This is a Vogue article by Elise Taylor. The title is Inside Anant Ambani's and Radhika Merchant's Final Wedding Celebration in Mumbai. So everybody was there. Not me, though. I lost my invitation. So this weekend, Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant's wedding took place in Mumbai, and it's no exaggeration to say the whole world was watching. I'm sure you guys saw Kim Kardashian. I have to say, okay? Thousands gathered in the streets of Mumbai to watch the son of India's wealthiest man travel from the family home of Antilla to Geo World Convention Center for his Bharat. Millions more scrolled through social media as Kim and Khloe Kardashian posted themselves in traditional Indian clothing with a camera crew in tow. It's rumored the family is shooting an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They mean the Kardashians on Hulu, which we are excited about because we'll be seeing the wedding.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, news outlets from the New York Times to the BBC sent reporters to cover the affair, and tabloids churned out articles upon articles on the family's every move. The fervor was understandable. Mukesh Ambani, the chairman of Reliance Industries, and Nita Ambani, his wife, hosted a hastakshar, sorry if I said that incorrectly, for their son and his fiancee in March, where Rihanna performed. Rihanna! In late spring, they held grand parties for their son and his fiancee, both in London and on a cruise ship that sailed the Mediterranean. One has to wonder if the pre wedding events were this grand, what would the actual wedding be like? Vogue was granted the world exclusive inside the event. Radhika says that the wedding weekend was chosen with the utmost intent. The dates were strategically chosen from the 12th, 13th, and 14th of July upon the advice of our family pujari, who identified synchronic moments for our celebrations based on auspicious astrological alignment in both my charts as well as Anant's. She says it was a meticulous process. Wow. Also, a meticulous process, the planning, overseen by Nita Ambani alongside her daughter Isha Ambani and her daughter in law Shokla Ambani. My mother in law was the CEO of the wedding, as I like to say, says Radhika. It was Nita's commitment and vision that brought our entire celebration to life. The family had several teams of event planners as well as in house staff working around the clock to orchestrate the multi week affair. Their nuptials kicked off on July 5th with the Sanjeet, or a pre wedding event, where both the bridegroom and their families do choreographed dances on stage to symbolize their upcoming reunion. Radhika wore a crystal outfit, here we go, by Abu Jani's Sandeep Kloshka. I wanted to make a lasting impression, she says. Anand also opted by a look by Kloshla, complete with ruby diamond buttons by Kantilao Chocotal. I know I'm butchering it. Sorry, guys. Pinned on his chest was a cheetah brooch, a nod of his 3,000 acre animal rescue sanctuary, Bantara, in Gujarat. How do you say that word? It's
I
a
on
city. It's a city in India. I know. My bad, guys. Isha, meanwhile, wore a custom scaparelli.
Ooh.
Sorry. A first for the French haute couture house. As the party grew late and Justin Bieber took the stage for a private concert, Radhika changed into a metal mesh sari by Manish Malhotra. It featured a corset that added a modern twist, Radhika explains. Although it was quite heavy, it was worth every moment. Over the next few days, the couple had several pujas, or ceremonial prayers, as well as a mehendi ceremony where the bride and her guests get their hands and feet painted by henna. Then on July 11th, they held their haldi, an auspicious tradition where the son to be married couple is covered in turmeric paste for prosperity. This is the coolest thing ever. Radhika wore Sharara pants from a Manika Kana and a dupatta, or a stole made of flowers. The atmosphere was filled with joy and a bit of chaos, says Radhika. A haldi is what I hold most dear to me. July 12th was the Barat, or the groom's wedding procession. Arriving at the Geo World Convention, where hundreds musical performers, where there were musical performers and hundreds of dancers as Anant arrived on horseback. It was out of this world. I've never seen anything like this. Designer Prabal Gurung, who was one of over 2,000 guests in attendance, along with Tony Blair, Nick Jonas, and Priyanka Chopra, says of the Barat. The whole room was filled with flowers and Bollywood celebrities. Those flowers were orchestrated by event planner Preston Bailey, who made over 60 floral animal sculptures made of Indian flowers, including monkeys, elephants, and tigers. He estimated each one took over 100,000 flowers to make.
What?
It took many, many sleepless nights, Bailey tells Vogue, who arrived in Mumbai 3 weeks ago in order to pull it off. Throughout the evening, people lined up to take photos in front of the installations. After a short break, it was time for the wedding. The Hindu ceremony began with traditional Jaimala, where Anant and Radhika exchanged garlands symbolizing acceptance from one another. It was followed by a Kanyandan, or the official moment where Radhika's parents gave Anant their blessing to marry their daughter. Then came the Farah, or the actual wedding ceremony, where the bride and groom take were taken around a ritual fire. Radhika describes the act as somber yet mesmerizing. Each vow encompasses promises of love, fidelity, prosperity, and mutual respect, creating a foundation for our married life, she says. Afterward came a Sindoor Dan and a Manga Sutra ceremony where Anand put vermilion in Radhika's hair and tried a Manga Sutra, or sacred necklace, around her neck. This can be likened to the exchange of rings in a Western wedding, Radhika explains. The ceremony concluded with Ashirwad, where we sought blessings from our elders, ensuring good wishes for our future. In this holy moment, Radhika wore a one of a kind couture look by Abu Jani and Sandeep Khoshla in red and white, honoring the tradition of Pantar. Her gagra was adorned with an intricate floral motifs along with precious stones and sequins. He said, "My veil was a true Zardozi marble," says Radhika, referencing the cultural term for golden thread and embroidery. So we go on to talk about all her other outfits. I think we kind of get the picture, but there were over 2,000 people there, guys.
That's
All the
crazy.
looks, all the cameras, all the business people. What do we think about this wedding?
I mean, I'm glad it's finally over. Just because, like, oh man, it was exhausting. But I think it was overall, it was very beautiful. Um, like, I think it's unfortunate that obviously us here in the West, we don't know their traditions so well. So for whatever reason in my mind, and I know this is going to sound ignorant, but I was expecting her to have, like, a white wedding dress or something like that. It was completely like it escaped my mind. I didn't even think, like, oh, of course they're going to have their own, traditions. So I just kind of felt like I wish I would have known a little bit more about those traditions, so I could have understood better like what, each thing meant.
Mhm.
Um, because of course our Indian royal wedding correspondents, Kim and Khloe Kardashian, didn't exactly provide too much context. They didn't provide too much context to things. So I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, is today the wedding? No, it's tomorrow. Is tomorrow the wedding? I don't know. Like, I was very confused. But I think overall everything was really beautiful. The bride, Radhika, looked amazing. And it was a strange mixture of people that I saw at the wedding. John Cena was at this wedding. I don't know why. I saw that Luis Fonsi performed at the wedding. There's a lot of very confusing things, but it was definitely ostentatious. Like,
Oh,
there was a
up
lot.
my alley. I'm like, oh, I'm dying right now in a great way. I'm like, this is the wedding of my dreams. Look at those rubies, those diamonds,
My gosh. Oh
those
my god.
emeralds.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing like so again, because we had Kim and Chloe as our Indian royal wedding correspondents. Um, the fashion on Chloe, I was in love. Like everything Chloe wore, I thought was perfection. Kimberly Noel needs to read the room, because why are you wearing stripper heels to a wedding?
Oh, you too? It was a whole thing on Instagram about it.
I don't get it. And then also like the first red ensemble that she had, I thought it was beautiful, but the top looks so small. And it just kind of made me think like you're going to someone else's wedding and you're just like kind of showing so much. I didn't know if like that was a disrespectful thing or not for their culture. Other outfits that I saw, I mean, yes, I saw like midriff stuff, but I didn't see anything so tiny like I did
See,
with hers.
but I think it was an appropriate thing, but she suffers from what a lot of, let's say, Latina women, maybe black women, or women with curves, like an outfit on somebody, let's say, slender, looks decent. I wear the same thing and it's like bam, bam, kablam. Like it's just too much, you know? So Kim, I think if, let's say, Priyanka wore her outfit, it would have been just fine. But Kim has so
Kim,
much going on. It's like
she,
the first thing I just look at is her chest.
yes, but she also has all the money in the world to get it fitted properly. She's not like us where we have problems finding pants that'll fit us right. She's not like us where we have to like go a size up or down.
She's just a hoochie mama. She wants to show off her body.
And
Let her do her thing.
that's fine. Be a hoochie mama on US soil. You are in someone else's country. You don't know these people's customs and you're going out there looking like that. Like it just felt disrespectful to me. Like you're going to
Yeah.
somebody's wedding. It's an act. They had, according to everything you were reading, they had literal like real religious, spiritual like things going on, and here she is like with a nip about to pop out or something. Like it just felt inappropriate, with her. Chloe's look, I
Yeah.
loved it. Priyanka looked nice. There was several women, and I honestly cannot recall their names, but I believe some of them were like Bollywood actresses that had amazing outfits. So anyway, overall, my opinion on the whole thing was it was very beautiful. We had been waiting for months for this to happen. 4 months. If you guys watched our initial Ambani coverage video, we were talking about this for a while. So I'm glad that, the wedding is now done with. I loved the jewels, of course. I think that like some things were a little bit over the top, but hey, if that's how you want to dress and that's how you want to do your stuff, go for it. But again, just, in my opinion, be mindful of the cultures that you're entering. What do you think?
Yeah, ditto. So just To add a little more info, there's a Vanity Fair article. It says again, the celebrations were from July 12th to 14, and it included red carpet for attendees to walk, spotlighting Hollywood, Bollywood, political, business, and tech luminaries that were invited to the wedding. Guests at the wedding, which cost a reported $600 million, included Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, John Cena, like you mentioned, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Nick Jonas, Nikki Hilton Rothschild, and James Rothschild, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Tony Blair, stylist La Roche, designer Prabal Gurung, Kim Kardashian, like we mentioned, Khloe Kardashian, former U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, and many more,
Wow.
which reported a crowd of some 2,000 guests. It was an A-list cast worthy of a Hollywood production, evidenced by the fact that the Kardashians brought their own camera crew to document their trip for their show. So it was the who's who, like, of the
Yeah.
thing. At the pre-wedding events in 2024, there was Rihanna, Justin Bieber, Akon, Katy Perry, Pitbull, Andrea Bocelli, and the Backstreet Boys performed. The weekend of the wedding itself, headliners such as Adele, Drake, and Lana Del Rey were rumored, but guests danced to a more internationally focused lineup of entertainment. Luis Fonsi performed Despacito,
Oh
and
my.
offered his hit song Waving Flag. Afrobeat star Rema got the crowd going. Let's see what else. And Nita Ambani did the best she could as CEO, which was magnificent. I loved all the elegance. I love how cultural it was. I love how ostentatious it was. It was so refreshing to see, especially since in the West, we're guilty. We're kind of focused on, or maybe they're more popular, the British royal family, right? So
Hmm.
when they come out and wear their designer clothes and the jewels and the crowns, we
Hmm.
think that they're hot stuff, right? But then we go to the East and we see this wedding, and Anita Ambani says "Quitate," which means move out the way.
Yeah.
Isha Ambani, Nita Ambani, Radhika, like the level of wow that they were
Yeah.
was unfathomable. It was even unpredictable. I've never seen so many jewels in my life, not even at the jewelry store.
Yeah.
And just to think that one of the pieces was like multiple carats, like, and then they were wearing, I think I saw like an article somewhere that one of Anant's um, outfits was contained 720 carats worth of jewelry. What? Bought these on Amazon. Like what? Like you can't even compare. Like I think what's also really nice, it they weren't flashy about it. If it makes any sense at all.
It don't. What?
No, like personally, it wasn't like, hey, I have all this money and I'm just flaunting. It didn't feel like their personality was like very show offy. That's very much a part of them. Does that make sense? Let's say if Kim Kardashian was wearing all the gems, all the jewelry, all the diamonds that Nita Ambani or Radhika was wearing, we know Kim would think that she's hot stuff. I want to say another word, but I'm just saying hot stuff. She's gonna think she's all that and a bag of chips. And I know that term is very 90s. I'm aging myself. But she's gonna think that she's like hot stuff. I'm wearing all these custom diamonds. Like she was saying with what she was wearing, a whole
Hmm.
bunch of Lorraine Schwartz diamonds.
Yeah.
So to me, even though they're very, out there with their jewelry and the things that they wear, they still seem very humble to me. It was just like, hey, I'm just wearing this jewelry. Like it's no big deal. You get what I'm trying to say?
Like it's just normal for them.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
And
it.
that's what made me love it more.
Okay. Of
I'm like,
course.
their clothes were amazing. I just loved everything. I need a sari. I was looking up trips to India. Guys, I'm so impacted by this wedding. I'm so sad that I wasn't invited. I saw a whole bunch of influencers on Instagram who went, and there
Oh,
was this whole thing that influencers were going because people had plus ones. So I don't know how true this is, but the plus ones were being sold. And that's how some influencers got in.
wow.
I know. I don't know. It's not verified. That's what I saw on social media.
Terrible. So terrible.
It's terrible. I wish I would have known. I would have told you, lend me a couple million so I can go to this wedding.
Yeah, sure. No big deal. No big deal.
Behind the scenes of the Ambani wedding. That would have been
Recording live.
I would have been next to Kim. Be like, girl,
That's
what is you wearing? Do you need friends? Like, that's what I would have told her.
yeah. Yeah.
Then we would have shown up at the episode of the Kardashians. We would have skyrocketed in fame. Like, just work with me here.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see what you're doing. No problem.
Guys, she doesn't have a vision, okay?
No, I don't. I definitely do not have a vision of trying to spend millions to go to someone else's wedding. That definitely not a part of my vision there. Sorry.
Boo. But overall, I wish them so much happiness.
Yeah.
I I might adopt these things when I get married. Like the thing with the elders, like
Yeah.
praying you, like all these traditions are so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was a lot of information. Let us know what you think in the comments about the wedding of the century, basically. Did we think it was too ostentatious? Did you even go? Did you follow it? What did we think about? Obviously, we got to talk about the Kardashians. What did we think about Kim and Chloe being there? Are we excited to see them on the Hulu rendition of the Kardashians? That will probably be season what, five, six? What season are we in?
I think we're on five, so six.
So we'll probably see them on season six. They're going to keep their
Yeah,
show alive for at least 20 more years,
for sure.
obviously. Um, what do we think about what Radhika wore?
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about all the jewels? Let's talk about jewelry. So amazing. All right, guys, that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our friends, so we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steve will tell you about.
We are on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. You can also listen to the videos in podcast format via Spotify and YouTube Music.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.